Hi, today I'm going to do a quick video on XERO Sales Invoices. So it's just a very quick video just showing you the basics of raising a sales invoice on the XERO. So we've got lots of videos like this, all different subjects, so really quick, but you know, just the basics really on the sales. So if we go to our desktop, I drag over a XERO, so you can see our XERO, our demo XERO. So in here, first thing is, where do the invoices live? So this is our dashboard. You can see business, this is where our sales ledger is. So this is our purchase ledger. So on XERO, an invoice is a sales invoice and a bill is a purchase receipt. So invoices is always going to be a sale. So that's our sales ledger. So my personal preference is to go to sales overview, and that's where we've got a breakdown. So this is where our invoices live, and then this is where our quotes live. And we can have draft ones, awaiting approval, or awaiting payment, or overdue. So it just drills it down into whatever the invoice, the category is. If we want to see all the invoices, we can go into see all, and then that gives us all our invoices, and we can change it to numbering, sequential numbering, or we can change it to supplier, which is quite useful. Personally, I prefer to have it on invoicing, in sequential invoicing, with the most recent invoice that you've raised at the top. And then if you're looking for something, so say Mr. Bills, we've got invoices to him, we can do a search here, and we can go and search for Mr. Bills, and then we can set transaction date. If you put any date, it will pick up the due date, the invoice date, so it'll pick up every date on an invoice. If you put transaction date, it will be the date of the invoice, so I prefer to use that date. And then you can set parameters as well, so you can say all the invoices from the 1st of January up to the 5th of May, search, and we're looking for Mr. Bill, so there's all his invoices. So it's a great way of drilling down. So we may say, well, let's have a look for any invoices that have been raised in May for a particular customer, and it'll just drill down to that. So that's a great way. So we're in business, sales overview, see all, and then that's all your sales. Okay, so business, sales overview, there's your sales, there's your quotes. Okay, so that's where they live. So how do we raise a sales invoice? So that's the next point we just want to go through. So up here you've got this plus, so here you can raise an invoice from here. So invoice, remember, invoice is a sales invoice on XERO, and a bill is a purchase receipt, and you can add a contact in there as well. So if we were saying, right, we've got a new contact, and we're going to we want to raise a quote, follow it up with an invoice. So let's just show you how quick that can be done. So there we've got contact, we're adding a contact in, so we can say Mr. Adams, just for any name, no Adams, and then we could have his email address, okay, and then you can put all this in if you want to, pre-populate it, you don't have to. Postal address, and just put the postcode in and it will search. We can, postal address is the same as the trading address, and then you can set up your due dates, etc. But all that can be done as it suits. You can go back in and edit it after. So that's got Mr. Adams in as a contact. We now want to raise a quote, so we can do that from, he'll be in contacts, so we can do it from here, or we can just add a new quote from here. So up there, quote, who do we want to quote? Mr. Adams, there he is. Okay, so date 5th of May, how long do we want the quote to last for? So we say 14 days, so it'll take us up to the 19th of May. Now in here we could put test 1, we can type in the quote, £200. We give it a sales, which is 200 if you use the standard nominal codes within XERO. You can set this up to whatever structure you want to. Here you can change it from no VAT to VAT, depending if you're VAT registered or not. So VAT on income. So we're saying that is registered. Now this is where you can save it. Save as draft. So if we save that as draft, that hasn't gone into the system. So we've just created a quote that's in the system. It will sit in our draft. So business sales overview. Down here, so sales remember live up here, and this is our quote. So these are our draft quotes that we've raised, but we haven't approved them yet, or we haven't sent them out. So there he is, Mr. Adams, £240. At this point we could go, well, we need to add some extra into the list. So test 2, you know, so we haven't approved the quote. We've got another £150 going through, 200, which is sales. So that's there. Now this item column allows you to do things a little bit quicker. So say we've got test 3, which is a product. We could add an item here. And there's another place I can show you in a short while where you can add this, but you can do it as you're raising the invoice. So if we do this, paste, and sell this item. Now it may be that we charge £35. Put it to sales, and there's VAT on it. You can add extra description in there, whatever you want to put in there. Save that, and that pre-populates it. So at the point, that will be in there as a product now. So there's all our products that we've entered in previously. So if we just go into this column now and put test 3, it'll pre-populate it, and you can say, well, we're going to quote for 24 of those. And you're not fixed on that price, you could go, well, we'll do them for £30. Okay, so you can change any of this, you can add extra detail in here. Okay, so it's all editable at the point that you're raising it. Now at the point that we've raised that, we go, right, we're happy with this. You can use one of these lines as extra information. And you don't have to put figures next to it, so a line can be used just for information. Okay, at that point we're going, right, we're happy with that, we want to send this, we can put our terms in here if we want to. So again, you can pre-populate this before, so there's quicker ways of doing this. 30 days, so again we can set all that up within other settings, which we'll do another video on that. Here we can send. We click on send, and then again we can pre-populate these emails, but if we send that now to his email address, we're happy with the basic template. So, okay, and then we send it, and then that's the quote that's been sent out to the customer. So if we go back into our business sales overview, here now we've got our sent quotes, we can view it. You can see Mr. Adams there, okay, and it's showing as sent. They may email you back and approve the email, the quote, or they might phone up and say, I'm happy with the quote, that's great. Now at that point you can just click into the client, options, and mark as accepted, so you can do it manually if you want to. So we'll do that for now. So like I say, if they mark the email that they receive as accepted, you'll get an email back saying that it's been accepted, and it'll automatically update the XERO for you. So if we mark it here as accepted, so at that point now we've got business sales overview. Okay, these are accepted quotes now, so it's moving it all along. It's gone from draft into sent, and now it's been approved, accepted. So at that point we can easily convert it into an invoice. So it gives you the option now to create it into an invoice. So we can go create, okay, Okay, there's the invoice. We can change anything. They might have said, well, yeah, we accept, but we only want 20 of those items. Or can you add some extra information, an extra item for me, please? So you might want test for. They'll have one of those at £230. So we've added that in, and at that point we can either save it as draft or approve it. Now up here you can add items, so you can upload files from your computer. So if you want to add something into the invoice, you can do it at that point now quite easily. So if we approve that, we need a due date in there. So we say it's due in 7 days time. Approve. And there's our invoice, which we can then print off. So we can mark it as sent or leave it. So this will mark the system that it's actually been sent. It opens up at the bottom there. So there's our invoice, which we can add in our logos and make it nice and fancy. Or we can just email it out to the client, send, and that will send out the invoice. Okay. So that's how quick it is. So you might want to do it without doing a quote. So you may say, right, he comes along again, he wants to order some more product. So we go invoice, we're adding an invoice. I mean, this is even quicker if you do this. So Mr. Adams, there's again, you bought something else today, due in 7 days time. It might be test 3 product that he wants extra. 56 items at £35. Approve. Email. Send. And that's how quick it is to raise a sales invoice. Really quick. We then go to business sales overview. Okay, see all. There's our 2 invoices that we've just raised, and that is how quick it is. At the point that, say, he pays us £500 today, we can. There's probably a quicker way of doing this, which we'll do a video on bank feed. So, you know, just have a look on our YouTube channel, and we'll be posting lots of videos on different aspects of XERO and QuickBooks and all sorts. But if you go to Mr. Adams there, into his invoice, they paid £500, so we would just change that there to £500. Paid it today. Perhaps they've given you cash, add payment, and then that shows us that there's £500 paid. We click on there again. They paid another £852. Again, today's date. And they paid it into the bank account, add payment. So all the time, business, sales overview, see all, and then here look, we've got, it's all done from the invoice level. So here we can see that they've paid that, £1,000 there. We can click on there, and then there's all our payments that have been allocated. Within the invoice template as well, we've got this history. So to the minute, we can see exactly what's been done with each invoice. So it was created on the 5th of May at 1841. It was approved at 1841. The invoice was sent at 1841. It was partially paid at 1842 and partially paid at 1843. So you've got a great audit history. Say, for instance, we've allocated this payment to the wrong invoice by mistake. We would just go into business sales overview, see all, click on the invoice where we've allocated it incorrectly, click on the payment on that hyperlink where it shows the payment. We could go to options, remove and redo, and automatically it removes it. So great, we can now go in and reallocate that payment to the correct invoice. Okay, so if we go back to our business sales overview, see all. I know this is quite basic, but you know, it's just good to get an overview of exactly how it all works. So here now, look, we've only got the £500 paid. Now he may come along and go, right, I've cleared the balance, so we leave that as the 1852 that's owing. He's paid it today via the bank, add the payment, and that effectively clears the payment. Okay, so business sales overview at that point, it would be sat in. You could either go to see all and see the invoice fully paid and sent, it shows it as sent, or paid and it shows it in the paid items. So it's a great way of seeing. So there's the awaiting payments, so you can see who owes you money, if they've been partially paid, you know, just at the click of a button. It really is fantastic for managing your credit control. Okay, so I'm going to do another video shortly on repeating invoices, which is brilliant if you've got monthly invoices that are going out which are the same amounts every month. So again, it saves massive amounts of time and gives you, you know, a great way of managing, you know, your sales structure. Okay, so that's that one done for today, and we'll keep posting lots of videos like this, so hopefully they're useful. Okay, thanks very much. Thanks. Bye.